I want to be very clear in the beginning of this video. I have absolutely zero interest watching this movie. And while I do know a lot of people personally who want to go see this movie, most of which are obviously females, I have no interest in seeing this movie. But I do think that it is quite hilarious that this movie has decided to play identity politics as I basically expected. I mean, I called it from the beginning that I think this movie is going to be extremely woke, or at least partially woke. If you can't give me extremely, you could give me partially. And now we pretty much have confirmation of that. So, how do you increase female representation, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's quite simple. To increase female representation, you have to have a man in woman face being the movie. Like that's essentially what you have to have in order to increase representation. So it's been confirmed that the Barbie doctor, okay? Barbie doctor in the live action movie Barbie is actually played by a biological man wearing woman face. Yes, this is how you increase female representation, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely insane. I don't know why women would go out to support this, but again, this is an IP that I think a lot of girls from their childhood are obviously going to be like, oh, it's Barbie, and they're going to want to go see it. I don't think this movie's going to bomb necessarily. I just think that it's extremely ironic that they are having a man in a dress try to attribute to female representation. It's pretty ridiculous. So we're going to get into the article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics, but of course, before we do, just consider giving this video a like to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing because we're on our way to 25,000 subscribers. It says Mattel's Barbie movie latest attempt to normalize gender ideology and body mutilation by casting man pretending to be a woman as Dr. Barbie. The upcoming Barbie movie is the latest attempt from radicals who have taken over Hollywood to try and normalize gender ideology by casting a man pretending to be a woman as Barbie. I think this face perfectly describes everybody's reaction. The film casts actor Hari Nef, a man who claims to be a man. I don't know if they meant to say a man who claims to be a woman. I'm kind of confused, but I mean, we're going to find out. Neff confirmed his casting in a post to Twitter back in April, writing, okay, so I'm a Barbie. This is wild. According to the character poster, Neff mockingly plays Dr. Barbie. Oh, okay, so no, they meant to say a man who claims to be a woman, so that's a typo on Bounding. But yes, this is a man, ladies and gentlemen. This is a biological man with a lot of makeup and a lot of Photoshop, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of makeup and a lot of Photoshop. This is how he's portraying himself in this movie. And again, I find it to be extremely ironic that a biological man is counted as female representation in movies, because they were talking about this, right? They were talking about this in a Barbie movie and how it was important for female representation, and yet you have a dude literally pretending to be a female. That's your representation? Okay. That's very interesting. Neff would also share a portion of a letter he wrote to the film's producer, Margot Robbie, and director Greta Gerwig in order to adjust the film schedule so he could film it. Neff tweeted, when I heard I was cast as a Barbie in the Barbie movie, it looked like I was maybe not going to be able to do the film because of a scheduling conflict. So I wrote Greta and Margot in a letter essentially begging them to fudge the schedule a little bit. The portion of the letter he shared states, this is a big movie made by a team whose work has played no small role in cultivating my love of sitting in the dark in front of big screens for an hour or two. But that's just a part of why I want my heart says need to join in the making of this film. Neff continued, identity politics and cinema aren't my favorite combination, but the name Barbie looms large over every American woman. Barbie's a standard, she's the girl. She's certainly the doll. Me and my girlfriends, we started calling ourselves the dolls a couple of years ago, though the phrase stretches back into the language of our foremothers into the ballroom scene, the dolls. I do think it's ironic that they call themselves the dolls, considering dolls are fake women. I'm just saying there's a little bit of a correlation there. You know, I don't know if I'm the only one to put that together, but you know, the fact that they're calling themselves the dolls is pretty hilarious. Maybe it's a bit to ratify our femininity, which you don't have, to smile and sneer at the standards we're held to as women, which you are not. He wrote, it's a joke, of course. We throw our voices the dolls, but underneath the word doll is the shape of a woman who is not quite a woman recognizable as such, but still a fake. Doll is fraught, glamorous she is, and she isn't. We call ourselves the dolls in the face of everything we know we are, never will be, hope to be. We yell the word because the word matters, and no doll matters more than Barbie. Neff continued. Is he like dunking on himself? Like, is he admitting that he'll never be a woman? If that's the case, then bravo to him. At least he's able to actually admit it instead of living in some falsified world of reality. But still, I think it's pretty funny. It says, while prompting the film to Time magazine, Neff also discussed the word doll and how the film handles the term. He said, it's a tricky word that holds for me anyway, such a strict standard created by the patriarchy that deserves to be scrutinized, but also a promise of liberation and safety and belonging. Here we go with the damn patriarchy. I guess you're not really a woman unless you're talking about the patriarchy. Like, why are you Now that's funny. Come on, you guys got to give me that. That's pretty funny. The fact that he is a fake woman, but he still finds a means to talk about the patriarchy. So even fake women like to blame men for everything. It's pretty damn good. Neff added, at the very least, there's a juicy performance as a doll somewhere in there. Interestingly, in the same interview with Time magazine, Robbie, who plays stereotypical Barbie, made it clear she would have not taken on the project if it did not include all different kinds of Barbies, and one has to assume that means men pretending to be Barbie. And that is the big problem right there. You have biological women that are perfectly fine with biological men taking up their space. They're perfectly fine with it. If you were to have a man who identified as a man joined the space and said, I want to be here, these women would call him crazy. But when you have a man, a biological man, wear a dress and pretend to be a female and says, I want to be here in your space, all of a sudden they're like, yes, queen, come join us. Yes, absolutely. We're 100% progressive. We would never tell you otherwise. It's absolutely insane. Like, nobody believes these people. I don't believe them for a single second that they want this person in their space. But they absolutely are forced to, because they're scared of the backlash that would happen if they're not deemed as progressive as they should be, right? It's Hollywood. It's how they think. It says, Robbie said, if Mattel hadn't made that change to have a multiplicity of Barbies, I don't think I would have wanted to have attempted to make a Barbie film. She added, I don't think you should say this is the one version of what Barbie is, and that's what women should aspire to be and look like and act like. This is not the first time that Mattel has tried to push gender ideology and body mutilation. The company produced a doll based on Roderick Laverne Cox, who claims to be a woman and goes by Laverne Cox. Now, I made a video on this, and man, this is an old video. I made a video way back when, so if you guys search my channel, you can find it. When I made a video talking about the Laverne Cox doll and how hilarious it was that this was actually happening. So again, this is not the first time, like Bounding Into Comics says, that they decide to do this. Mattel is very much a woke company, and now they're going to use this movie to continue to push that particular ideology, because it's never going to be the end for them. They're never going to stop. They need this. They need this to be in the movie. And the fact that biological women are totally fine with this and supporting this is just another, like, what are you going to do, right? Like, you can't complain and then continue to get self-owned like this. It's impossible. So either you're going to make change and fight against it, or you're just going to be complacent with your own erasure. The choice is up to you, ladies. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.